What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about what's going on with the Mass Effect Trilogy Remaster. So this was something that obviously picked up a ton of steam leading into EA Play, was not there, but is something that it's a weird situation, right, where just even though it wasn't there, everybody's still completely on board with, no, it's absolutely happening. We kind of got word like that morning of EA Play that it wasn't going to be there, that for some reason they weren't going to show up, but it's still coming in the fall. So I want to talk about this. There was also a couple leaks of somebody that claims they got to play this game. Now, when you do a play test for a game, you're not allowed to talk about it. That's against your NDA. So hopefully, if it is true, hopefully this person does not get found out. If it is not, and on the flip side of it, it's very, very possible it's not true. There's a lot of really amazing things in these leaks. We'll go over a couple of them later on in this video, but that seems to be where we're at, that this game, and then I guess the newest rumors claim that it is still releasing, and this time it's going to release on N7 Day, so November 7th this year, this Trilogy remaster will come out. It still makes sense. I would wonder myself, why they didn't do anything at EA Play like that seemed to be, everybody was asking for it. That was kind of everybody's, obviously like Dragon Age and Battlefield, like there were some things that were pretty big too, but I mean, this Mass Effect thing, it's the closest big thing that we're getting from EA. It's very, very soon. It's something that everybody wants, right? Everybody's got very, very fond memories of Mass Effects 1 through 3. So it was a little puzzling why that wasn't there. But, again, this is a situation where it wasn't at an event, but it's still okay. It really seems like, again, across the entire gaming industry, it's okay and nothing is really wrong with it. It's just for whatever reason they chose to not do it. So I'm going to read through the different things that they talked about for Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll talk about, if it's true and if it is true, how amazing it could be. So for Mass Effect, major graphical and gameplay changes. Gameplay is more in line with Andromeda, which is something that he talks about quite a lot. But instead of the original weapon and armor systems in that game, it's more streamlined like Mass Effect 3. The change in gameplay has also been altered. Some of the level design and boss battles, galaxy map and galaxy exploration of Mass Effect 3 version, but with more to explore in the remaster. All the DLCs, by the way, are all included in this as well, which is what they go on to say later down the line. Mass Effect 2 has major graphical, and from what it sounds like he's saying is the graphics update mainly in Mass Effect 1 and 2. 3 isn't touched as much. It definitely is obviously a change, but it's not as big of a leap as 1 and 2. The character models are noticeably improved. Planet scanning is backed and improved, more in line with Mass Effect 3. All the DLC has been added. The things that were cut for this game are included, and so on and so on. So again, everything that this says. Now again, these are not things, by the way, that are that crazy. I really feel like out of all the things that are said, nothing really sounds like it's taken like on a, like it's not like something that is very hard to make up. All these things, like if I were to make a leak for what this, and by the way, this came from Reddit, which is something that you have to keep in mind too. Reddit is not the greatest place for leaks. But if I had to come up with leaks for this game or what this game was going to be, obviously those are things you would do. It's going to have cut content. It's going to have the DLC. It's going to have major graphical improvements. Remember, I was saying I think the best thing they should do, and again, not that the Mafia thing is any example maybe to go by, especially not yet, but the idea that Mafia 1, because it's the oldest, is getting a remake, and then 2 and 3 just got kind of remasters. Does that mean more games will try that? Could Mass Effect 1 be remade? So that was always something I kind of had pitched. And while it doesn't sound like that, even by these leaks, doesn't sound like it's going to happen, again, obviously you would expect, out of all three of these games, Mass Effect 1 should be the most altered. Mass Effect 1, even if you play it now, is the most different. And some people like that. Some people like the idea that, or the fact that basically that Mass Effect 1 is very, very different from the other two. But the fact is, when you're trying to put these all together, trying to make kind of like a streamlined experience, 1 is the one that you'd have to kind of change the most. So that makes sense. Again, that's not something that's all that hard to make up. And again, all this talk of, okay, these features in 1, these features of 2, they're more in line with 3, they're more in line with Andromeda. Again, that makes sense. You're going to try to borrow tactics that worked with later on games. In fact, we even see that again with the Mafia trilogy. A lot of stuff they're talking about with Mafia 1 is, hey, we learned about about this in Mafia 3. We're trying to take some of that stuff, and even the stuff in Mafia 3 that we tried that didn't work, we're going to try and expand upon it and make it work with this game. So you even hear that with that game as well. So there are some comparisons to be made. So again, not all that hard to come up with. So leak-wise, I'm not necessarily on board with the fact that this is true. Now again, does that mean that all the stuff that he said isn't true? No. In fact, I think a lot of the stuff he said probably will be true, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to predict something like that. That's all I'm saying. And then besides that, the game itself, I think it's totally okay. I wonder when they'll do something. You know, we're seeing things with like the war table for Marvel's Avengers. We're seeing stuff with the Night City Wire, with Cyberpunk, that they're kind of like reoccurring episodes, that there'll be like more episodes as the summer and as we get basically into the fall. What will be interesting to see is how do the companies do anything, because EA, really, I mean, they showed next to nothing at their EA Play. I mean, I'm sorry, the EA Play was not very good, but obviously Star Wars Squadrons was kind of the main thing there. If this does come out November 7th, we need to start hearing about it, I would say, over the next like 2 months. I feel like by the end of August, we would kind of need to know, firstly, for sure, that this game exists. I don't really think anybody's questioning it, but again, it's only kind of people that live on the internet. It's a lot of people that aren't, on the internet looking for these stories. If I were to tell a couple of my friends that aren't on this kind of stuff, they would know, and a couple of my friends do love Mass Effect, but I bet you they don't know that this game even exists. So you want this game out there. You want this game to be in people's minds that this game is coming out. November 7th makes a ton of sense that that's what would happen, but you got to get it announced soon. That's basically all I'm saying. But with that being said, I don't think it's in any trouble. I don't think there's a lot to worry about. I'm very excited. I cannot wait to replay these 3 games. I only ever played 2 and 3. I never played 1. I did the whole, when 2 came out and they did like, you could do like the recap of 1, you can kind of pick the main decisions. That's what I did. I've only ever seen gameplay and watched people play Mass Effect 1. So I'm very excited to play through all 3 of them again. It's one of my favorite gaming trilogies of all time. So I can't wait to experience it one more time on PS4, hopefully PS5 or like next gen consoles, Xbox Series X, Xbox One. Gonna be really, really cool. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Is this a game you're excited about? Do you think there's anything going on there? Do you think there's anything to worry about? Let me know in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up, and obviously when this game does get announced, when this game does come out, I'll be covering it on the channel. We'll probably live stream it, have a lot of videos on 1 through 3. Again, even the lead up to when this game releases, I'm sure I'll be doing a lot of stuff on this channel. So if you guys like Mass Effect, this is definitely the right place for you, okay? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.